What's going on, everybody, and welcome back for episode 37 of Hit the Books. All the boys here this week ready to deliver news from all the leagues and even a little golf. As everyone knows, NBA Finals, NHL Conference Finals, moving quick, lots to cover. So let's jump in and introduce my co-hosts, Huff and Mackie. Huff, what's going on, my man?
What's going on, everyone? Happy to be back another week. A lot going on. NHL playoffs looking like they're coming down to the bid here as we get down to the final. NBA Finals still going on, so a lot going on. Mackie, what's up with you? Back from vacation? How was the vacation?
Yeah, it was good. I missed last week, but we're back, better than ever. Got NBA and NHL playoffs coming down to the wire here, so a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we'll get it right off the bat. We've been ice cold with the picks lately. Good thing we had this fire start in the NHL because we've just fucking ripped it apart in the past about 4 or 5. No, I'd say like week. Just tough week in the NHL for us past week.
Yeah, last week's been something for sure.
It's all right. We were due.
Yeah, I mean, with that start, we were up like 19 units at one point. We had to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
we're back down. We're sitting at like 9.5. Still crazy, but I mean, we got humbled.
Yeah, real quick. It's all right though. Being up 10 units in a 3-week span isn't very bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty, let's jump in. First, let's jump into the NFL. Sale of the Denver Broncos coming in at $4.5 billion to Robert Walton, marking most expensive team sale in American sports history. Chelsea Football Club being the most expensive sports franchise ever sold at a staggering $5.3 billion. Robert Walton is the owner of Walmart.
His business title is an heir to the Walton family. So I think I heard today he's the oldest son of the owner of Walmart.
Ah, okay.
His net worth is $56 billion.
Oh my God.
So
that's insane.
This guy's doing all right. Monday morning,
yeah,
buying an NFL team.
Just nothing to it.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know if this is like going through because I heard something this could be announced by like the end of the month or the beginning of July, but like it was just kind of announced, so I don't really know what they mean. I mean, obviously they have the official sale and all that stuff, but kind of what happened was, I guess this trust, I don't know who owns the Denver Broncos. I guess it's some sort of trust or something where whenever they put it up for sale, they have to take the highest bid, and I mean, any owner is going to take the highest bid, so I guess it doesn't really matter who owns it. So, but anyway, I guess they were putting out reports that they had multiple bids for $4.5 billion, and just hoping like to kind of build up the hype and kind of build up the, you know what I mean, the demand of the team, trying to get an offer north of $4.5 billion. And the only offer I think it's the only offer they got was the $4.5 billion from him, but. I keep seeing stuff like if it gets approved, like I don't know what has to get approved. Like if he has the money, if you can write a check for that much money, like I mean I know you can't just write a check for that, but like
there's just laws and stuff to make sure that he can,
yeah, with that amount of money, you gotta be like just protocol.
Yeah,
make sure he's not having monopoly on something, like he doesn't have like shares in something else, and
yeah,
conflict of interest, things like that.
I can't believe it was like Mackie, like what you said. First thing, like you said, whenever you sent it to me, $4.5 billion.
Yeah, for the Broncos, like why the Broncos? Why are they at this point the most wealthy franchise in all four major sports?
I guess at this point, I think it's just going to be the ones that go for sale are going to be the next. You know what I mean? Like they're just going to continue to break each other.
Continue to go up. Yeah. I guess we're coming to a new era.
Like, you know what I mean? Especially with, you know what I mean, inflation the past year and a half, like.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's inflation going up.
These teams that are worth $2.5 billion, they're like, yeah, give me $4 billion, and the guy's like, fuck it, I don't care. Like if you're spending $2.5 billion, you can afford $4 billion.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You're not like if you're spending $2.5 billion, you got an extra $40 billion behind that. So
yeah, or coming in, yeah, like Walmart, like He's going to make $500 million tomorrow morning.
Unreal.
You want to keep moving on with the NFL stuff? What's next?
Yeah, next we got the Los Angeles Rams and multi-defensive player of the year, Aaron Donald, agrees to a 2-year, $60 million extension. The extension gives him a $40 million raise over the last 3 years of his existing contract with no New Year's added. The 3-year, now $95 million deal makes Aaron Donald the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history.
That's insane. Like, when I saw that number on ESPN today for him to be the highest paid non-quarterback ever, I just feel like, I mean, obviously the past couple seasons he's had with all the accolades, and now he's finally got the Super Bowl after, you know what I mean, getting there a couple years ago against Brady and the Patriots, and his team only scoring the 3 points in the Super Bowl. But hell of a career for him. I mean, $35 million to fucking play nose tackle. Like, the value some of these positions are getting, it's not just quarterbacks anymore. It used to be, the quarterback made 25, 30 million, and then everyone else was like lucky to get 15, you know what I mean? I mean, now there's edge rushers making 28, 30, nose tackles making 30, these receivers, some of them, Devontae Adams, 25, 28 million. Like, it's crazy the money that's getting spread out to some of these players that aren't quarterbacks. But I mean, Aaron Donald, first guy to surpass 30 million is you know what I mean, not under center. So it's pretty crazy. I mean, he definitely deserves it.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, yeah, he does deserve it. Obviously, he's definitely one of the best in the game, if not the best in the game. Could be in the conversation of best to ever do it. But I mean, I feel like he looked at them and he was like, "Give me 30 million a year. I'm retiring right now," and they're like, "Done." Like, obviously, you're going to give him the money that he wants. He's Aaron Donald.
Yeah. And with everyone saying, like, especially with the things with Sean McVay, I forget what network he was supposed to go to, but there was rumors that he was going to sign with some network to go. They were going to pay him like $40, $50 million a year to go be an analyst for football, or not you know what I mean, like on TV, like
Yeah.
I think it was Amazon actually, or maybe it's in the future. But he ended up obviously, you know what I mean. He's still the coach of the Rams, but I think whenever he came back, they're kind of saying, like, I want the same team, or he was going to go do that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why there was so much talk about him retiring when all that stuff was going on, but I'm talking about McVay, not Aaron Donald right now. But whenever there was all that talk about him retiring and going into the booth and doing the TV stuff, I mean, like, he would have just blown that whole team up. But I think no one would have stayed.
I could see that.
I agree. Yeah, your coach leaves, the entire team falls apart. So, yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
So I think that's the biggest thing is, I mean, he ended up staying, but I don't know how legit that was with the TV deal and with McVay, but Donald gets the big deal. They got everyone back. I mean, it's easy to say they should be a Super Bowl favorite, but the Buccaneers had everyone back last year, and everyone kept saying they have all 11 starters on both sides of the ball. How is this team not the Super Bowl favorite? And the Rams come out and win it this year, so don't be surprised if this team, you know what I mean, makes it pretty far. But just because you have all, you know what I mean, the whole squad back doesn't mean, another
Doesn't
NFL
always
team.
mean, yeah.
Doesn't
Especially
mean
with
they're not
Tampa.
going to
They weren't
figure
even the
you
best
out.
team in the Tampa wasn't even the best team in the league. They just went on that little run at the end of the year at the right time.
Yeah.
But, the Rams were the best team in the league this year, I think. So they could be a little scarier than that Bucks team that we saw.
Buccaneers were like if the Bengals would have won the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, a little better than that. But, yeah,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Like
Definitely.
kind of the Cinderella team, but they got the hype because of Brady.
Yeah, it was Brady, yeah.
All right, next. After missing voluntary OTAs and asking to be traded, 49ers wide receiver Deebo Samuel is in attendance for San Francisco's mandatory minicamp that started today. That's interesting.
Yeah, I forget who was saying this. They've been saying this for a couple of weeks on ESPN. They expected him to be there. They didn't expect him to sit out on this because obviously this is where you start touching into your guaranteed money that is coming his way. So obviously you're going to show up to this, put your head down, play football, and obviously I think he's still hoping to get traded, but from what everyone's saying on ESPN and Twitter, I think won't be surprised if he's a 49er this year. Can just puts his head down, plays football, like I said, and kind of maybe deals with this next season as a true free agent.
Yeah, I think he's a little too young to be sitting out and demanding things right now. Obviously, he says he wants to be traded, but he'll play through until he actually gets that trade, I think.
Yeah, and especially the upside going on with San Francisco. I feel like I'm hearing a lot of hype with Trey Lance, and I think I have not a lot of faith in him, but I'm excited to see what goes on with that situation at quarterback in San Francisco. If they stick with Jimmy G, if they go with Trey Lance, I think there's a lot of upside with him in that offense. If he especially decides to still keep kind of playing that running back, wide receiver, combo to try to get the big deal next summer as a true free agent, but. It'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, the 49ers aren't a bad team, obviously. They were in the conference finals game last year. Debo is a huge part of that team. So, if he stays, then the team could be just as good this year. Hopefully, if they do go with Trey Lance, hopefully he can ball out a little.
I still can't believe the Packers blew that game against the 49ers.
I can. It's the Packers.
That punt. Oh my god. You know which one I'm talking about? I don't know if it got blocked or it was just muff punt. Oh my god, it was terrible.
I don't remember it. No.
It was the one they scored the touchdown on. I think it got blocked. Maybe. It was brutal. But I had no faith in that 49ers team last year, but obviously they showed me up. I mean, I did against your Cowboys. I bet them against your Cowboys. That's for sure. That's just a rule. But
Good stuff. Yeah, Cleveland Browns are reportedly having internal conversations about bringing back wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr.
This could be an interesting situation. Obviously, all the stuff that's going on with Deshaun Watson, and really now there's a whole nother spinoff of if he's going to play it all the season again, and half the season, the whole season, indefinitely. You got to think sooner or later Roger Goodell's just going to put him on like the Josh Gordon list or the Antonio Brown list, where you're just kind of like indefinitely suspended until he decides what he wants to do with you, no matter what happens with the legal team. Just because, you know what I mean? Like, he's not bringing any good news to the NFL and football side. The NFL's a business, and if I'm running a business and this dude, is just constantly being correlated with the bad press and the bad media for all this stuff that he's done. Now a 24th woman coming forward with this case, and we'll just kind of touch on that point now. But another, obviously he gets through the 22 or 23 and another one steps forward. So who really knows what's going to happen with the Browns this year? So very interesting situation with them. So
for him.
What'd you say?
It looks so bad. I mean, when things keep coming up, this looks so bad. He's never going to be able to put this behind him. They should just give him the 6-game suspension and call it over.
I don't know. I can't believe Goodell hasn't just put him on an indefinite suspension list. You know what I mean? Like the Josh Gordon, I'll decide when you come back.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's getting this special treatment. $240 million guaranteed.
Yeah, they shouldn't even have let him sign a contract. That was the big thing. Was that why did anybody even let him sign a contract worth $240 million as he's being prosecuted for sexual assault?
On 22 cases.
That was a big fuck up by the NFL.
That's Cleveland Browns for you, baby. They wanted that quarterback so bad.
But that's still the NFL. The NFL could sit there and tell them, you cannot sign this player right now. This player is off limits. But you're rewarding him with $240 million as he's being prosecuted for 22 sexual assault counts.
I agree. But if there's a team I'd rather get fucked over, the Houston Texans are irrelevant, so I'd rather beat Cleveland.
Yeah.
I think this is so funny this is happening. I saw something Addison put something on Twitter today about what is it? NPA, non-disclosure agreement, NDA, something like that. He started tweeting about that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, that's all he's going to be worried about now is this court case. I'm like, 2 months ago, he was like, oh, we got Deshaun Watson. We're winning the Super Bowl. Now they're back at the courtroom. And it's like, all right, are we even playing football this year? Or what are we doing here? But
Step one.
I really want the perfect scenario. He gets suspended for the whole year. And then Baker holds out and is just like, fuck you guys. I'm out of here. Oh my God, that'd be so funny. I mean,
Alrighty, next, quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick announces his retirement from the NFL after 17 seasons with 9 different teams. Pretty good career for him. What do you guys got?
Mark, you want to start off on this one? Were you a big Fitzmagic fan?
Let me know if I cut out.
All right.
I mean, yeah, he was the best backup quarterback of all time. He would always he only played well when he would come in behind after a quarterback got hurt, and he would have to come in, and then he was Fitzmagic. But great career. He made a name for himself. Get out of there. I mean, he had a long career, so played everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. They were one of, if not the best backup quarterback. I think in the past couple of years, the best backup is going to be, obviously, people are going to bring up Nick Foles because he came in and won the Super Bowl, but different situation. I don't know if, people want to make that argument that Fitzpatrick ever had a kind of team like that, but that's a different argument for a different day. Hell of a career for him. I could name like a bunch of different scenarios where he's had crazy moments throughout his career, but just this past year was he with Miami last season, or was he behind Tua last year?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I don't know where he
for some
finished.
reason think he was behind Tua last year. And it was either last year or the year before. They were playing the Oakland Raiders when he got face masked. They were down 23-20. He got face masked. They were on like their own 35-yard line. He threw it up. I forget who caught it. I think it was Devontae Parker.
All right, I got one more point here for the NFL. Little betting trend. The Buffalo Bills have attracted twice as many bets and more than twice as much money wagered to win the Super Bowl than any other team on DraftKings this year.
It's interesting.
Very interesting.
I guess I got a lot of faith in Josh Allen this year.
Yeah, who knows, right? Like, a lot of money. Twice as much as any other team.
It's surprising, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they are the Super Bowl favorite just because without this movement going around in the AFC, they're the team that kind of stayed consistent and got better.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you asked like the most square NFL bettor, they'd say the Super Bowl is going to be like. I mean, they might be right. They might be right. They might get one of them, but I think they'd say Rams Bills. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
I
the
think that's
AFC
like
is just so tough. There's
I
so
think
many
that's very
teams.
expected for someone to be like, this is going to be the Super Bowl, Bills Rams. I think that's the most common combination you would get.
Yeah, there's just so many teams out in the AFC.
Denver.
The whole entire AFC West.
Alrighty, wrapping up the NFL. Let's jump into some NBA. First, we got LeBron James becomes the first active professional athlete to reach the financial status of billionaire, according to Forbes. Holy crap. Like,
I mean, the sources
unreal.
of income this guy has coming in. Oh, the source of income this guy has coming in. I mean, throughout his entire career, obviously, like, especially from what he's come from. I mean, building schools and with his Nike deal throughout the year, like the stuff he's done on and off the court, it's crazy. But I mean, never hear this dude in the news for anything bad. So to reach the financial status of billionaire while you're still playing hoops and with the goal to, you know what I mean? Obviously, his goal is to play with his son someday in the future, but unreal career, obviously. Like, you don't even need to sit here and act like no one knows who this guy is. So the 4 titles, everything he's done on the court, off the court, unreal. But just the fact to do it while you're active is crazy.
My opinion, best basketball player of all time, and This is well deserved with everything he's done for the community. His I Promise school that he did in Cleveland, just giving back and everything. He's just, I don't know how anybody could hate this man, but good for him.
Very good for him. Utah Jazz and Quinn Snyder mutually part ways, leaving the Utah Jazz with a head coaching vacancy. Along with the news came the star guard Donovan Mitchell described the situation as unsettling, unnerving, and wondering what it means for the franchise's future.
Yeah, I mean, I think we don't see Donovan Mitchell in a Utah uniform this year. I think that team's a lot different this year. I think they try to rebuild around Rudy Gobert, I guess, because they're not going to keep both of them, and get some pieces for Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, you alluded to this. You sent it to me, so him possibly. I've seen a couple trade destinations for him. I mean, the Knicks are definitely there. They think that's definitely a possibility for him to go there, but there's a couple landing spots. I didn't really peek around to some of the other ones, but obviously any team that gets Donovan Mitchell, that's going to be a huge addition for them going into the next season. It's going to be very interesting to see where he goes. Utah had a nice year this year, but I don't think really at any point. I think they were one of the most disrespected playoff teams. I had no faith in them this year to do anything. They were playing Dallas, who was a lower seed than them, and I just thought Dallas was going to win that series. I knew Luka was out, and a couple times I doubted Dallas in that series, but with Luka in that series, I was like, okay, this is Dallas in 5. Utah was dominant at home this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're always dominant at home, but they're awful on the road. And we saw them as a 1 seed 2 years ago, and they lose to the 4 seed? Clippers, maybe?
Yeah, Clippers.
Lost to the Clippers, and they were sick that year, and they couldn't do it that year. They weren't going to be able to do it this year. I don't know. They just couldn't figure it out together.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. Like you said, I don't think we see him play another game for the Jazz.
Hopefully the Knicks.
Be interesting.
Alrighty, let's jump into some NBA Finals. Boston Celtics win Game 1 of the NBA Finals, 120-108. The Celtics outscored the Warriors 40-16 in the fourth quarter to come back and steal Game 1 in Golden State. All right, and in Game 2, the Warriors bounced back, winning 107-88 on their home floor. Series is now tied 1-1, going back to Boston for Games 3 and 4. Going to be a good series, I think.
Like, you want to start out here?
Yeah, I think I think this series definitely comes back to Golden State 2-2. I don't know. I feel like it should be 2-0 right now. Golden State handed them that Game 1 win because all they had to do was win. They could have lost by 11 in that fourth quarter and still won the game. And 40-16 in the fourth quarter is just you just can't do that, especially a team that has that much experience that they have, and how good their defense is. It's just that this can't happen. So, they bounced back Game 2. Just got to steal one in Boston now, and you're back on track. I think they still come out on top in this series.
Do you think they take Game 3 or 4?
I think Game 4. I think Boston wins tomorrow, actually, and then Warriors take Game 4 or 5, and they could potentially take 6 too.
My take going into this series was as soon as the Warriors have 3 wins. I mean, obviously, if they got there, I think as soon as the Warriors have 3 wins, the series is over.
Yeah, because they'll get that 4th one the next game.
Like, they will not mess around when they have that series. When they can clinch it.
And Boston hasn't been very good on the road this year in the playoffs at least. They're 5-4.
They've struggled in
on the
series
road at
clinching.
home.
They've struggled in series clinching games on their home floor as well.
Yeah, they're only 5-4 in the playoffs this year at home. So,
I mean, you look at the Milwaukee series on their home floor.
Yeah, they're up 3-2. They probably should have lost that series going back to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
No, they were home. Game 7. They lost Game 5, and then won Game 6 and Game 7.
That's what I mean. They could have put that in position, you know what I mean, to go to Milwaukee and win it and then come home, you know what I mean? Like, all right, we just can't lose 2 straight.
Yeah, but they had to win one on the road, Game 6 in Milwaukee, and then coming home Game 7, you don't really lose. Most home teams don't lose a Game 7 game.
Yeah. He did. That was one big road win for the Celtics.
Canes did.
Yeah. But I don't know. What's your series prediction? I'm still going with Warriors in 6.
Yeah, I got Warriors in 6 or 7. I don't know. I got them in 6.
6 looks realistic, I think.
I don't know, because I do think Celtics win tomorrow night, but to go with my thing, like, I think literally what you said. I think Celtics win Game 3, Warriors 4, 5, 6. Series is over.
Yeah, I think it's a high possibility.
Yeah, that's. I'm sticking with my pick. Warriors in 6.
All right, let's go on some hockey.
Let's jump in some NHL. Nathan MacKinnon and the Colorado Avalanche complete a 4-game sweep of Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers in the Western Conference Finals. The Avalanche will advance to their first Stanley Cup final since 2001. Colorado will await the winner of the Tampa Bay Lightning and New York Rangers series. Pretty interesting series there. You know, I thought going into that Game 4 with the Oilers going up and then just a back and forth game, I thought they were going to come out on top there in overtime, but Colorado took it.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised to see them sweep this series. Obviously, all the hype that everyone, you know what I mean, wanted to see this series. I was talking about this as soon as I kind of realized it could line up this way out in the West. Obviously, as don't really have a team that I root for out there, but as soon as I realized I could see McKinnon versus McDavid in the NHL playoffs, I definitely wanted, especially the Western Conference Finals, I really wanted to see that matchup. And to see the series end in 4 games is a little bit of a disappointment from a fan perspective. You know, you wanted to see that series go 7, like it's looking like Tampa Bay and New York could go, but the Avs dominated the series. There were certain times when the Oilers, you know what I mean, showed their, how the offensive power that they showed throughout the entire season with McDavid and Evander Kane and Draisaitl, and they, you know what I mean, even last game, like they were up 3-1 at one point, and you know what I mean. Then the Avs
4-2.
4-2. Yeah, I was gonna say 4-2, and then the scoring just gets up there. Avs end up winning it pretty quick in overtime to clinch a series and head to the Stanley Cup final. But for McDavid, I feel like it's a tough pill to swallow, getting swept by, a guy that you're kind of not really compared to for like skill, but you know what I mean. Like you hate to see McKinnon get a cup before you. You know what I mean, with playoff success and the kind of teams that you're on. But McDavid will be back. I just feel like it's going to be interesting to see what the Oilers do. They got to get a goalie for him.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about this series was that the Avalanche were so overpowering, and the Oilers didn't have a goalie to withstand that pressure that they would have. That when they would have the puck in the zone for 4 minutes straight, and the goalie would have to make three nice saves, they keep it a close game. Mike Smith wasn't able to do that, and the Avalanche. This is one of the best teams we've seen in the recent past. I think in the past 5 years, the Avalanche team, 5-10 years, the Avalanche team is probably the best team we've seen. And you have a team like the Oilers who have 2 of the best players in the world on it, but other than that, that team really isn't that good. So they did what they needed to do. They put up their points, but they had 32 points each in 16 games. It was ridiculous, but it's just not enough against that Avalanche team. That team is so sound up and down. They don't have a weak spot. So, hopefully, I wanted to see Oilers get at least 1 or 2, but the close ones they couldn't win. So we saw a sweep, and the Avalanche team moves on to the final.
Yeah, they're going to be waiting a week to play,
which could either be a good or a bad thing.
I never think that's a good thing. Too much rest is not good.
Well, we just seen with Tampa that it wasn't a good thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm interested to see how that rest kind calculates into that series.
Yeah, I'm fully rooting for the Avalanche at this point. Once Penguins lost, I was like, fuck it, I like McKinnon, I'll just go with them. Obviously,
Yeah,
they're definitely the most exciting team to watch. Scoring like six goals a game, 5 goals a game every night. It's just crazy. So, Cale Makar, you know what I mean? You look around the lineup, like you said, it's just top to bottom, they're stacked. They're the favorite.
Card 5 points last night.
Yeah, they've been the favorite to win the cup all season for a reason. That's why they're moving on. 4 more wins for the Avalanche. They got this thing on lock.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes down.
You said it, Avs moving on to the finals. Let's jump over to the Eastern Conference. We got the Tampa Bay Lightning and the New York Rangers tied up at 2 apiece now after Game 4 tonight. Tampa winning 4-1. What do we got, Mackie? You and your Rangers. Looks hot tonight, but
well,
who knows, you know?
First, I want to say this is a great series. A huge goaltending matchup. You know, going into these to these conference finals matchups, we had McDavid and McKinnon, and then we had Vasilevsky and Shesterkin. And McDavid and McKinnon didn't really live up to the hype, but
I was gonna say this series is living up to the hype way more than the other series.
They are definitely living up to the hype. Both goalies are playing wonderful this series, but you know, Rangers had it up. They scored. I mean, they win the first 2 games at home. Tampa wins the next 2 games at home. I said that in the beginning of the series. Just going to point that out. But I don't know. We should have won Game 3, and that's the story of the series so far, and that's why it's tied up right now because we're up 2-0 in Game 3. Tampa is everything is washed out of them. Their faces went pale. They were on their heels. They didn't know what to do. We get a bunch of penalties. They scored 2 power play goals, but they're right back in it. They score with 30 seconds left in the game, and that's the story of Game 3. And now we're sitting here tied up in a series 2-2, and it should be 3-1, or maybe we win that game if we go 3-0. So it just Game 3 is the story of the series so far, and I just hope it doesn't come back to bite us in our ass. But you know, you just gotta win our home games. We win our home games, we take care of business, and we play Colorado in the Stanley Cup final. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, like you said, Game 5, come back to New York, best of 3. You guys have home ice in a best of 3, so I wouldn't want to see Vasilevsky in a Game 7.
He also just gained all the confidence he needed in these last 2 games.
He let up 3 goals over the past 2 games. It's just when this guy's on. Obviously your goalie Shesterkin's sick too, so could go either way. Obviously, when you know what I mean, when a goalie's on home ice, things different things happen to confidence. But I would not want to see this guy in a Game 7. I mean, the stat was, you know what I mean. Wins off a loss stat just broke. Obviously with them losing Game 2 of this series, but his save percentage or his goals against in elimination games is unreal.
Yeah, so, you know, hopefully we don't have to get there. Hopefully we can just win these next 2 games, which also I don't see happening, but I don't know. You know, we put ourselves in a tough situation here now, not winning Game 3.
My original pick before the series was Lightning in 6. I don't know if I feel too good about that, but obviously it's still alive, but I don't have any money or anything on it. It was just make a pick, but
yeah.
I didn't think the Rangers.
I had Lightning in 6 too, so.
I didn't think the Rangers would be playing with them like this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, as a Rangers fan, I didn't either, but we're here now, so you can't let off the gas. You got to win Game 5. That's what it comes down to. You got to win. You got to
win their home game.
You got to defend home ice at this point.
Yeah, they have to win Game 5. I was gonna say, what do you think about this series?
Yeah, this series is just like, I don't know. That Vasilevsky stat just keeps coming into my head. You can't underestimate the man. But Shesterkin is here to play. Like, he's not fucking around. He's good. He's shown that he can kick ass in series, no problem. I think it's truly a goalie battle coming down to the series, coming through 4 games here. So I think it's going to be good the rest of the way.
And couple things coming out of the golf world this past week with that Live Golf Tour kind of getting going, as I think their first event might be this weekend or next weekend in London. Dustin Johnson becomes the latest player to officially resign from his membership on the PGA Tour Tuesday. Johnson's decision is surprising more than that made by others such as Louis Oosthuizen and Sergio Garcia. As the 37-year-old had more to lose as he was on the cusp of securing a lifetime membership on the PGA Tour with more than 20 wins while in the midst of his 15th season on tour. I saw that one on CBS Sports. And then obviously another big name with Dustin Johnson. I mean, in Dustin Johnson's case, he did get, I saw, upwards of $125 million to join this Live Golf Tour, or however you say it, but insane amounts of money. This Saudi-based company or whatever it is just handing out money to these golfers to come to their competitive league, I guess you would say, to the PGA Tour. But another big name is Phil Mickelson. After months of silence, has officially announced that he'll be joining Live Golf as well. During his announcement, Mickelson acknowledged the reason mostly that a recent struggle with a gambling problem, which led him to lose around $40 million. Mickelson said in an interview he will be getting paid roughly $200 million to join Live Golf.
Unbelievable, man.
That's crazy.
Where is this money coming from? Just to, like,
I don't know. That's like how between these two dudes, $325 million. Two guys.
yeah, I don't know. And it's all guaranteed too.
Yeah, they said it's fully guaranteed, or I wouldn't be doing it. I don't know, like that's why it's like that's why so many people are like giving them all this backlash, but it's also like they do it too.
Yeah, I don't know how you can turn down $200 million. I mean, Tiger Woods hasn't even made that in his career earnings playing at the PGA, and he's the best golfer of all time.
I mean, he's probably a billionaire, but that's obviously all off the course shit.
Yeah, but his career earnings is like $114 million. I saw.
Yeah, and that's because in the PGA, the way the PGA is set up, there's no guaranteed money. You got to win.
You got to win. You got to win. I think it may take away from the competitiveness a little, but
what's going to be interesting to see is if these guys are allowed to come back and compete in majors, because like Johnson was saying is he's interested to see if he's allowed to come back. Like, it doesn't seem like some of these guys are putting that too big of a, you know what I mean, like too much of a priority. Like when you're getting paid $125 to $200 million, it's like, how bad do you want to play in the U.S. Open?
yeah, at that point you're like, if they don't want me back, then all right, I'll retire with $200 million.
Yeah, like some at 37 retire with $125 million in the bank. Phil Mickelson, he's 40 something, retire with who knows how much money he has. I mean, obviously, I just said he lost $40 million, but $200 million coming in. Like, I hope he has money in the bank. You know what I mean? Like, if he's joining, if he's down that bad, like, I don't know how he blew everything he had.
I don't know.
He was making bread for who knows how long.
Yeah,
It's gonna be interesting to happen this. I'm not sure when this London event is, but I don't know if it's gonna be on TV. Like if the U.S. company, you know what I mean, like national TV is gonna be broadcasting it. I don't know what's going on with all that stuff, so I haven't really heard too much. So it's kind of been like out of the news. So I don't know if that's kind of how it's gonna be over here, but the first event's in London. From what I understand, most of the events are gonna be in Europe, Africa. I think, like obviously. Anywhere over there, but it's going to be interesting to see if it's on national TV. If we get a lot of coverage of it, obviously you're going to hear about it on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff. But it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, it should definitely be interesting to see how it goes.
I'm kind of excited for that. That's going to be good. With all this money moving around and stuff, keeping these good players back in, or keep these players playing.
$200 million. Play fucking golf.
Unbelievable.
All right, that's going to do it this week. Keep an eye on our picks daily. We're looking to put out some more MLB. Keep moving on the finals here for the NBA, as well as conference finals, moving into the Stanley Cup finals for the NHL. I think that's all we got this week. Anything else, boys?
No,
Good for me.
that's it. Another great week.
All right, thanks
For
for
me.
listening. See you next week.
Have a good one, boys. See you next week.
And that's going to do it for us this week on Hit the Books podcast. Thank you for all the support week in and week out. Please be sure to share and check out our various social media platforms and check out our website. All the info is located in our link tree in the description below. And always remember to hit the books.
Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.